Alright, what's gapping? So I'm just doing a quick 15-minute study sesh here on Thursday morning, the 29th of April 2021. So I'm looking here at BTX, but the main bone of contention today is to talk about the watching yesterday, and that I paper traded GGII yesterday morning, and I want to just review that trade and how the stock played out for the rest of the day. But just looking at BTX yesterday, they're like there's short squeezing out there for sure. I'm trying to think, where could I have got in long safely with a good risk reward. So I'm going to zone in a bit on this for 10 minutes and then talk about the OTCs for the last 5-10 minutes. So let's see. I want to check. I was at work yesterday evening, so I didn't spot BTX, or I didn't even notice it the day before, as I was focusing on OTC market. But I just want to get BTX up here. I don't have stocks to trade yet, but as soon as I have like a $1,500 or $2,000 win on a trade, or I'm up to that amount, or I'm going to invest in that yearly subscription. I think it's a really valuable thing to have. But for the time being, I'm with Yahoo Finance. So BTX, let's have a look. So it's obviously some health news or some FDA approval perhaps. Let's have a look. Huge market cap. Inducement price. That was 10 days ago. What's this about? 14 days ago. Okay. So that was so basically this is my thought process. Alright, so I'm just want to get so this ran 7 to 10. That's quite big, and it's hopping around. I find when a stock is doing that, from through the dollars quickly, it's a good sign that this has explosive potential. So how or why I missed this action, because this is suggesting here that it's curling up for that huge move. You can see the higher lows almost every day. It's like big small red day consolidation, big green day, small red day consolidation, big green day. Now it's getting near the monthly breakout level. So what's that? Let me just put that line straight. Yes. So there it's like right knocking on the door of that multi-day break. That wick goes to a high of 1432. So you could have bought it prematurely there on this day, and you would have probably you would have been underwater, wouldn't have been holding it, but you would have had to stop out. So let's look back to last 5 days. 5 day 5. I'm trying to see if the 3-minute chart is something that works for me best with listed. So what was the level? There's the level, the line that I drew. So that's the multi-day breakout level. Yeah, okay, it ramped up into the close on this day, but so like, let's imagine that like I wouldn't have, the stock wouldn't have appeared up on my radar on this. Only maybe what was strong on the day I would have noticed. All right, BTX breakout. I'll keep an eye out for tomorrow morning, and then so I think this is the break here. It's time to get in. Multi-day breakout. It doesn't give you much chance to get in after this candle here. Let's just get it down to a minute and see. But you kind of have to kind of get the big picture in mind and think, right, is this an explosive move here that this can go on a big run? So for me, like, there's not a whole lot to. It's easier in hindsight to kind of spot this, but I'm definitely going to be noting this as these runners do come along. What I would say is that it's moved from 8 to 11, which is a large move. Consolidates between 980s and 10, 11, and then this move here, because it's so big, should kind of tell you that, right, well, this stock has got the range that you want, and it's moving upward. Like, I mean, if it was moving from 1090 to like 1150 and then like coming back down here, then it's like, yeah, whatever, but it's moving from like 11 to 13 and you're just like, whoa, and then back down to 12 and you're just like, whoa, this is interesting, keep an eye on this one. But obviously here, buying here would have been a mistake unless you're willing to sit through this dip here to the mid 11s. So but the rip up here is just insane, and I guess you got to be thinking long then at this point that this stock has got multi-day potential. Right, so ideal world entry would have been here. Even more ideal world would be the entry here on this break, and you could hold it overnight to the safe, and then adding here perhaps to this break, and then like selling into this up here. Like, it's like, oh, I'm happy enough there, like you're getting 50% or whatever. So it is choppy and volatile, so it has its good and its bad there, but then again, like, you're looking here at, for me anyway, I'd be looking at the obvious points. It's the next breakout above here. You're looking at that, kind of breaks it easy, knife through butter, and crazy. And so then you're looking again, you're probably looking here, why not, with the breakout again. It's trending nicely, it's curling up. If you to get more meticulous about this, you're going to be looking at this upwards above here, and but it's quite volatile, I would say that much. It's tricky, so for me it's not ideal. So it'd be more probably, I'm just thinking, probably just look at the breakouts rather than try to anticipate something in here. Although, like, I suppose it does let's just see. I just want to see if I can. So this, I'm just interested in this little portion here. So, oh, so this is the consolidation under VWAP, hugging VWAP action, I guess you want to call it. It's not going down, so I guess you could get short sellers here. Maybe trying to think this is going to fade back now, and I suppose the perk over VWAP and then holding VWAP, and especially here is a indication that hang on a second, you know. But for here is easy points to get caught out, because you could be like, oh right, this is going to break here, and you could get in, but you'd be stopped out because it comes back down. So ultimately, sometimes it's just best to wait for there's an increase in volume, which is key here as well. This larger increase in volume on this break, this is the actual break, pretty much tipping it to break, and here. So this zone for me is to be patient enough to wait for that. I guess you could dabble in here because you're afraid you're going to miss it or whatever, but you have to be willing to have it where you can risk, say, I don't know, VWAP, you know. So I'm just thinking out loud, I'm not like advising anyone, I'm just thinking to myself. But for me it's just the obvious points, you know, on a big mover like this, because it doesn't very often, once it does the break, the beauty of it is that it doesn't even come back very often to test the breakout level. It's just gone. It's like a horse that's bolting, and it's like, you're not going to catch that horse is gone. And the key is, I suppose, not to chase, you know. Feel like you're missing out. If you miss the initial burst, you're going to have to say, oh damn, I missed that. Let's wait and see. That's the high here now. Let's wait and see if this sets up later for a break of that. That's just what I would think. So there we go again. What's that there? Is that a large wick? That's up to 27.77. But say it's around the 27 level. 27. Low 27s. Low 27s. So then, it's obvious again then, if you're confident in this one. It's just the volume, I guess, is telling you, and you know, short sellers here getting busted because they're probably already bent, as the term is used by investors underground when shorts get bent. You know, they're probably already bent from being squeezed out here, and they're thinking that this is it maybe, and it's finished, and next thing they just get squeezed out. The stock won't let them out, and off we go again. Like so, here again. This time it does test the break, so you know it breaks 29.60 and back down to 27.70. Like, this is volatile. This is quite the mover. So it's easier said than done to play these. But I guess if you have a big picture in mind and can categorize this play as one of those, I don't know what I'll call them, but I think I'll call them like the wild horse runners or something. And categorize them in that way. But they're just those ones that come around every now and then, and like, I didn't. Wow! Like, look at the move. I think then at this point everyone's talking about BTX, and it's probably a case where, like, surely short sellers are out now. You know, they're just covering for the loss, and it's just more like it's just everyone's talking about it now. That it's like it's the thing to buy now, like, you know, that kind of mentality probably. So in any case, the break here, I mean, like, where are you going to be holding? Where are you going to be taking your profits? That's all, like, something I'm interested to discover the next time there's a runner like this. But and you just don't know how far they're going to run. But I guess if you're just playing the breakouts, alright, and then if you're just keeping your risk right, and then just selling into strength, you know, and you know, that's a good way to play them, I guess, you know, sell into strength. And then you're like, okay, well, here's the top out points. Let's monitor it for a while again. And I suppose short sellers often don't know when to stop or when to leave something alone. So, excuse me. You could be watching this then for this channel and seeing how it transpires here. You have a little fake down here below this, I suppose, if you want to make this a channel. So again, you probably have shorts getting sucked in, thinking, oh, this is lovely, like it's up in the 30s now, like I'm gonna get involved here for a nice little trickle back down to the 20s. The signs have got to be how quickly the candles recover. Like here it looks like you could be forgiven for thinking that it seems to have steamed itself out, that the horse is now quite a long way away from its stable where it came from, and it's just getting a little bit worried about the environment that it's in. Look, the reality is that, you know, the question is there going to be more buyers? Is there going to be more buyers coming in? How many people are short? And you can just play the lines. So, you know, when you see this and this type of candle, you're like, this isn't finished yet. So here's another spot, and again, if you get entry nice close to that line, and not like, say, okay, 40.81, say you got in at 40.81, you're down here at now 39.73, so you're risking $1 share. But you know, it's generally doesn't come back down here. It's nice once the break happens, and you get a chance to get in here again at high 39s. You know, so you don't want to be too chasey. You are given a chance sometimes. So it's a case where sometimes you miss it, and sometimes. So if you miss it and you still want to get in, it's just obviously you just need to take smaller size, because you're further away from kind of an obvious risk point. So this is resistance breaking of this channel here. The goal would be for me to get in anywhere here, and then it's like, you know, like this is all crazy here. 44.62 down to 41. Like, I mean, that's, you have to have the big picture in mind when you're playing these things. So it's just hard. It's just hard. But there was lots of meat on the bone in that stock. And if you have a bigger picture in mind for a multi-dollar move, because this is a multi-dollar mover, like it's going from 40 to 50, like crazy. So this is the kind of, maybe the blow off kind of shorts. It's getting destroyed here. This is more for me, more like short squeeze action. And that's where it's closed at the moment. So I don't know what's going to happen with it today. My inclination is to think that it's going to start retreating, but who knows? So it's got a top wick there, you know, so this could probably be hanging around the 40s today, but I'm not going to make any predictions. I don't think it's going to come down very quickly anyway. I think it could be up playing around here for number of weeks, somewhere between 30 and 45. That's my guess anyway. I've been going for 20 minutes. Alright, 5 minutes GGII and I'm done. Why is that outside? It's raining. It's heavy. It's sunny this morning. Okay. Yeah, this is an interesting one. So I've started posting up my trades on Twitter, just to a couple of reasons. One, to hopefully save myself embarrassment, where I know that I'm posting these up so that I'm more thoughtful about the trades that I take. Stop telling people you won. Okay, and also I'm interested to find out who's playing these OTC stocks that has a similar mindset to me, and where I can form allegiances or friendships with these people, and learn and bounce ideas off. So so I started that a couple of days ago, and I kind of anticipated that, as Sykes says, you're going to get people ripping on you for selling quickly for small losses and stuff. So I just want to give it my little spiel on that and what I think about that, and how I think it's just important to not get involved with the trolls. So yesterday I started with the paper trading on the OTCs. The trade here was WTII. I was looking for a dip buy, but where is it? Let's just review this again. Make this a 30-minute video, but 3 days. A dip buy here, and I wasn't really watching it from the start, so it's a failed morning spike and it dips. Nice dip, but I didn't get in at the ideal time. So I think if I do that again, I'm more likely to sell quickly into this, and then think about it and see what happens later. Here was nice, where I could have been like, okay, maybe to get in again, and it ultimately does have that spike that I was hoping for, that bounce. But the real play was, there was a play in here, was here, getting in here, maybe probably this candle a little bit earlier. But I don't think the entry was too bad, but I was just hoping for it to go to the 40s and maybe take some profits in here somewhere, but it didn't happen. And then the position sizing and so on, this all paper, but it would have been nice to get in earlier and I could risk the bottom of this or something, but I ended up cutting for a small loss, so I wasn't willing to wait and see what would happen. But yeah, delayed bounce there on that, missed out. Kind of had the right idea. It did happen, but it just not within the time frame that I was hoping. I was probably hoping for it to hold VWAP here and at least trend, but it came under VWAP, and so I wouldn't have been willing to hold on for that, GGII. So this was the gap up, and I was watching GGII and GVSI yesterday for a morning panic, and I was also watching WTII again for a morning kind of panic for a bounce play. It didn't really happen, so I ended up saying, kind of couldn't resist the trade then on GGII. On GGII. So I recognized that it had gapped up, and so I would have been more, but it had broken a high as well, so I was like, it kind of has some stuff going for it, but it's also up a lot from where it closed, and I didn't really, it wasn't ideal for in my mind, but it was spiking, and to be fair, this is a late entry in the morning spike. I was slow to react to it. Maybe when it gapped up, maybe I should have been thinking, alright, get in here and see how it goes at 25, 26. But the plan was to actually, once I got in, I recognized that, okay, this is kind of in a territory where it might not continue, and it's a morning spike, and I'm buying, like, in hindsight, it's halfway up that morning spike, which I reasoned was a realistic enough expectation for it to run maybe another this amount. So I was hoping to take profits just at about 31, 32, but it only hit 31 very briefly, and next thing, boom, it's down here. So I probably should have been taking myself out of it, trade along here for a scratch, but I waited to see, but then it was like threatening to break under VWAP, and I was like, nah, I'm getting out here. So I took a $30 loss. I was up 100 at one point here, so the stock did kind of come back up around here, so it would have been up slightly, but ultimately it does come down to the 22. So that's, you know, I would have been down, I don't know how much I would have been down if I had held on to all that, but I would say probably over 200 quid, and I'm not willing to risk that. That's just madness. And I know later it did recover, and like you could say, oh, why didn't you just hold, like what these guys are talking about, where I got the response. So you know, I'm going to continue putting up my trades. I don't really care about people like this guy. And now you'd be up again. You've much to learn, Padawan. I had to look up what that meant. It seems like you're sweating every candle too much. And yeah, it is. I do sweat every candle. I'm watching every tick, every candle. And this guy says, "Lolawal, imagine living with that stress." I mean, I don't remember mentioning anything about stress here. Was it maybe he saw panic and thought I was panicking or something? I don't know. But I wasn't really stressed in the trade. I was, because I kind of had a good idea of what was going on, and I had a risk, and so on. So these are just trolls, you know, and they usually don't have their own face up. And if you look up their profiles, they're often pumping these stocks, or they're invested in these stocks themselves, and they're protecting it, and they don't want to see anything negative written about it. So she said it's going to haunt me in the real money game, the fact that I've cut when something instantly goes red. No, I cut when my risk was hit. I wasn't going to tolerate getting caught in this, which would have really annoyed me. So I was already actually a little bit annoyed with not cutting around here after this candle. Was evident that something wasn't quite ideal here. So I was already a bit annoyed, because that could have been another candle like this here, and I would have been cutting for $150, $200 loss. So like, I'm like, no, I'm not letting that happen. I've let that happen before, and it's not a nice feeling. So I need to be keeping my losses really, really tight. But I feel like I've just responded with correctly. I've been in the real money game. I'll be back at it soon. Just keeping the knife sharp, working on tight risk control, as these stocks can drop fast. I start small and compound the size with time. So it's really just like what Sykes teaches, you know. It's not about waiting for something to like that. This is a hold and hope strategy that he's trying to tell me to do. Like it's like, oh yeah, just hold and it'll all be fine in the end. And sometimes it is. Sometimes it comes back, which is the irony of it. So this could run the next day, or Saturday, because now it is kind of proving that this has strength of some kind. So I wouldn't be bearish on this stock yet. It looks like it's going to run. It's had its consolidation day and it's going to run further here. So I would certainly be long biased on GGII. I'm going to leave it there. That's just my ramblings for the morning. Thank you.